A farmer was thrown on Mars to exist. He collected the waste of the astronaut left behind to make his own plastic tent to grow potatoes. He had fertilizer and potatoes, but no water. But he is an expert in agriculture. He used the rocket fuel to oxidize them by fire to separate hydrogen and oxygen, then fired them. That enabled him to create water. After failures inside this plastic tent that created the water, far away 60 billion km from our Earth, people were organizing his formal funeral. In reality, Watney is an astronaut. He together with his colleague completed the first flight to the Mars. But in 18 ST day, they encountered a huge storm. They thought that he had died, then quickly left. No one knew that a blood clot prevented the hole in the astronaut's clothes that helped him survive. Watney treated his wounds on his own. He discovered that all the communication equipment was destroyed. All food was enough for 30 days. But Watney knew that the following flight to the Mars was 4 years later. This would be his only chance to come back normal life. It was lucky that he successfully grew potatoes. In the 79 ST day, he harvested the first time. Food concern was solved. In this day, when he watched the map, he suddenly remembered, in 1997, Department of Aviation launched rockets to probe Mars. There should be communication equipment here. Watney drove car to seek for it at the Department of Aviation this time. After claiming Watney's dead, through satellite photos from the Mars, they found the live evidence. This made them so surprised. After the analysis of Watney's movement, they know Watney's intentions. They immediately found that year probe ship. This equipment was activated on the Mars. Watney also opened equipment through camera movement to choose yes or no. He successfully connected to the Department of Aviation to have more chance of communication. Watney uses 16 base codes. They use the expert guidance to fix the program to communicate by messages. The news dedicated to the fact that Watney was still survival was on the rage. In the Department of Aviation, everybody tried to try new way. As the components become old, there were so many plastic fragments, the whole equipment was destroyed. The temperature was -100, that also destroyed potatoes. He couldn't harvest anymore. The Department of Aviation decided to allocate all financial resources to create a new probe ship to supply food and drinks for Watney that helped him to survive until the following flight. Having done the analysis, the probe ship would reach the Mars in 800 days, right the time that Watney finished all the potatoes. But this was a huge problem to launch a rocket, as the hurry preparation. The rocket exploded for a while after the launch. They were so panicked. On the Mars, he ate potatoes for 100 days. Watney was in the depth of despair, even rethought. When all around the world, people felt that it was a pity, the Chinese Department of Aviation decided to help, actively stop the plan, to help NASA. Having the help of China, American Aerospace Bureau immediately had planning. Was about to launch the rocket second time, but there were so many tasks to prepare, it took up to a month to finish. Furthermore, if this time the rocket didn't explode, the chance to land on the Mars, when the time he had died. But they believed in this. They needed to launch the rocket at this time. An expert recommended a measurement to tackle this problem. They should use the round-trip rocket, cancel the food supply plan. After reaching the Earth, they took the advantage of Chinese rocket to supply enough power for the spaceship. Then the spaceship traveled around the Earth, used the movement of the Earth to increase acceleration. To launch the spaceship to the Mars, they needed only 300 days to reach the Mars. You never mind if you don't understand. Let Watney's colleagues to rescue him instead of supplying food. It is faster. But the crew completely surpassed the calculation that made other unspecified factors appeared. If they fail, Watney won't be rescued, and lets other 5 astronauts take the risk, together with Watney. On top of disagreement, Watney's colleagues seem to be eager to try this method. They changed the route of the spaceship to help him come back our planet. As the approval of China, the spaceship was equipped with thrust, successfully finished the plan. The spaceship crew successfully launched, but this plan had a problem. Was that there was not enough fuel to reach the Mars. It was necessary that Watney use the Ares 4 to fly to his colleagues. What is the Ares 4? The food needed to reach here immediately. The Department of Aviation, to execute this plan, first launched a detective rocket in order to for the next trip. At this time Watney could use this to rescue himself. Watney renovated a car in the Mars, surpassed 3,000 kilometers, finally found the Ares 4. However, The Department of Aviation's analysis figured out that as the Ares 4 lacked fuel, so it was difficult to coordinate. But they invented so many other measures to decrease the weight. They lifted the height of the rocket, they let Watney opened all the unnecessary items, even tossed the spaceship's cap. The Center Control Department was so surprised when hearing this. It was lucky that the expert finally let Watney cover it by a canvas to reduce the weight. Watney restarted this rocket, launched to the galaxy. The acceleration increased quickly, made Watney nearly faint. That broke his bone. But it didn't reach the expected height. The captain decided to explode an air duct, and took the explosion to accelerate. To combine them, Watney was in front of, the captain went to help him. The longest distance in this world was not the horizon, but it is the fact the two people hold their hands in the space. But the rope was not long enough. Watney had an idea that he punctured suit. Used the oxygen from this cloth to accelerate him to the colleague. People all around the world were watching them. Finally they hold their hands. Them came back to our planet. The human reached the moon in 1969. They expected that in 2030, we can reach the Mars. They believe that before not existing, we have to see human grow potatoes in the Mars.